All right. Happy Monday, everybody. Big waves out there. Good to see you this morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. And now we're going into the last week of 2020. Last week of 2020. So Myra actually today sent me a word, or I'm sorry, yesterday sent me a word. Um, and the word is overthinking. Overthinking. And always we take a word and we look into it, and I don't know, maybe it probably hit me with it at a perfect time because I tend to overthink, especially at the end of the year. And so this was great for me. I got tons of notes, so I want to get right into it. Overthinking, if you think about the word, it's thinking about something too much or too long. How many people has been guilty of that? I know I have. That's why the word was so important to me today. Um, and if you really look into overthinking, it's an act. The act of overthinking sometimes could be linked to anxiety, depression, a lot of things, worry, stress, really creates a sense of overthinking in one's life. And so I got to looking at it. I wanted to go two ways. What are signs that I'm overthinking right now? Okay. And I love things like this. I want to know from research. I want to know from what's out there. How does Andrew Jackson know if he's overthinking right now in his life, in his profession, in his health? Okay, whatever it may be. So here I'm going to go. I'm going to read this to you quick. Okay. And if you in the chats, we love the comments, whatever you got to say. So here's the thing. Signs you're overthinking right now. Number one, I can't stop worrying. I'm just worrying, worrying, worrying. I often worry about things I have zero control over. I constantly remind myself of the mistakes I'm making or that I have made. I relive embarrassing moments in my mind over and over and over again. Not me. I've never messed up. Just kidding. I often ask myself, what if questions? What if? What if? I have difficulty sleeping because it feels like my brain won't shut off. When I have conversations with people, I can't help but to think about the things I wish I had or hadn't said. I spend a lot of free time thinking about the hidden meaning behind things people say or events that occur. The hidden meaning. I spend so much time either dwelling on the past events or worrying about the future events that I often miss what's going on in the present. Now, these are not Brent Palmer thoughts. These are actually like surveyed things that go on. When I read this, I went, I think I got all of those. Check mark, check mark, check mark. How many of you felt that way? Go ahead. You can throw yourself under the bus with me. So then I thought, all right, if we know that and we're having problems with that and we're struggling with that, what's ways to stop overthinking? Okay. So here we go. Number one, notice when you're stuck in your own head. Overthinking can become such a habit that you don't even recognize what you're doing. Stop paying attention to the way you think. Stop paying attention to the way you think so you can become aware of the problem. So what that means is when you're replaying events in your mind over and over and you're worrying about things you can't control, just stop and acknowledge it and say, you know what, this is not productive. What I'm doing is not productive. I'm going to move to something that is more productive. That's number one. Number two, keep the focus on problem solving. See, dwelling on problems isn't helpful. but looking for a solution is. And I wrote this down. I said, I deal in sales every day. I deal with people that go, I need to make more money. I need to make more money. I'm frustrated. My business is not where it needs to be. I need, I want, I have, I can't. But what if you said, rather than that, what if you spent your time finding the solution? I need more money in sales. Okay. Well, what drives sales? Inviting people, following up with people, showing a presentation. So what if I just did that solution? Like if I just did that over and over and over, would that make me more money? Yes. Would that give me more time freedom because I have more money? I don't have a half a second or a third or a fourth job? Yes. You see where I'm going with it? So that was the second thing that really hit home to me. Keep the focus on problem solving. Number 3, challenge your thoughts. And I'm just going to read this to you, okay? Because I want you to get it. Challenge your thoughts. It's easy to get carried away with negative thoughts. So before you conclude that calling in sick is going to get you fired, or that forgetting one deadline will cause you to become homeless, acknowledge that your thoughts may be just exaggerating negative, okay? Remember that your emotions will interfere with your ability to look at situations objectively. Take a step back and look at the evidence. What evidence do you have that your thought is true? What evidence do you have that your thought isn't true? So basically, just challenge your thoughts, okay? Number 4, I'm about through. Schedule time for reflection. See, stewing on problems for a long period of time isn't productive, but brief reflection can be very helpful. So you think back about the week, you think back about this situation you're in, Billy, and you go, how can I change it? How can I do things different? Because what I got to realize is life is a battle course of change. It is. When I really realized that our life we're living, is just a battle course of change constantly. So it's okay. It's okay if things are not going your way. It's okay if you're having trouble. Just reflect and go, what can I do to make it better? What can I do to change? What can I do to make a difference? Number 5, learn mindfulness skills. Now, this was something I need to do more of. And that's just sitting in a quiet place with my feet on the floor and my back straight back in the chair and mindfully just going to a quiet place. And when my mind starts to, I go, get out of here, get out of here. I'm relaxing right now. I'm going to take 10 minutes. I'm going to take 10 minutes and I'm going to focus on my breathing. I'm going to focus on just taking it in. Mediation, right? Mediate a little bit. Breathing exercises. I challenge you to look up like mindfulness skill exercises that you can do 5 minutes a day. It'll help you. And then the last one is change the channel. Okay? When you start to feel like you're overthinking situations, just tell yourself, stop thinking about something, that is going to create like a domino effect and send me down the wrong direction of overthinking. Just stop and then work to change the channel in your brain by changing the activity. So I know that was a lot, but it was good for me. I challenge you, if you struggle with overthinking, then spend some time in the Word, okay? Spend some time in the Word. This was really good for me this morning, Coach. Thanks for giving us the Word.
All right. Good stuff there, buddy. Thank you so much, Brent. Listen, I'm not going to talk about the things he's already hit upon, but I'm just going to share some things that I know I deal with personally. And if I was a betting woman, I would bet that you guys do as well. It seems like when we're under stress, when we feel it, whether it's at home, in our families, if it's at our job, whatever it is, we overthink. We can walk away from a situation that hasn't been great, it hasn't been pleasant, but it kind of was resolved. And instead of us taking the positiveness of, I think we got to a good place, sometimes we walk out the door and we can't just stay with that. Well, I wonder why so and so wasn't involved in this. Why didn't they do that? So then it just starts all over again. I know I have had so many mentors in my life and career. And one thing I learned from a lady, Miss Kathy Long, she was an assistant principal when I was at Hoover. And I asked her because I was overthinking everything. And I asked her, I said, Miss Long, do you ever overthink? Well, she busted out laughing. I mean, she's an assistant principal. You know good and well she is an overthinker. And I said, what's just some tricks of the trade that you do that help you get past overthinking? And she said something I'd never heard before. She said, well, through my life, and I've been guilty of this, I'll go to the doctor and say, look, my mind just will not shut down. I want some kind of a pill or some kind of a liquid that's going to let me shut down, but I don't want to feel like I've had a all night drinking binge the next morning. Well, most of the stuff that knocks you out like that is not going to work. So, but Miss Long said, when I start overthinking, I wake up. Most of the time, it's when we go to bed, y'all. You know that. It's when we lay down, it's when we start overthinking. She said, when that happens, I sit up in the bed and I keep a notepad and a pen right by my bed. And what I am thinking about, I write it down. And I said, really, that works for you? So I tried it. Yeah, it works. I don't know why, but it's like I gave it out of my mind. Now I can rest. Another thing that I've learned is when we overthink, especially at night, when we're in our quiet space, in our beds, you need to get out of bed if you're overthinking, because you cannot and do not need to identify your overthinking when you are really needing to go and shut down. Does that make sense? So get out of bed, walk around, do whatever, read something, quit overthinking. Now, one thing that I've learned in the overthinking is, I think Arlene put in the quotes a while ago, and I know Brent hit on it, is we can only control what we can control. And I'm working really hard on that, not to overthink things that I have no control over. And I think we're all guilty of that. But overthinking is just, I'm going to read this one little thing, and I shared it with Brent this morning. It's the lyrics of a song. I'd never heard of it, but I always end up going back to stuff with music. So I want to read this to you. Not all the song, but stuff that just really hammered me. And it's about overthinking. It says, a person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So he loses touch and reality and lives in a world of illusions. By thoughts, I mean specifically chatter in the world, perpetual and compulsive repetition of words, or reckoning and calculating. I'm not saying that thinking is bad. Like everything else, it's useful in moderation. A good servant, but a bad master. And all so-called civilized peoples have increasingly become crazy and self-destructive because through excessive thinking, they have lost touch with reality. That's to say, we confuse signs with the real world. So I just challenge you to try to find something. And Brent hit on meditation. I've never really tried that, but I have friends that have. When you overthink, get somewhere and meditate. Get your mind away from it. Talk to somebody, get it out, because overthinking is not doing anything but adding stress to your life. And I hope that you received some good value. I know Brent had tremendous points that he shared with y'all, but I just want to try to make you understand. And again, I'm talking to myself. Overthinking is bad. So let's try to do a better job today and every day of not doing that. Can we do it every day? No, we're all going to overthink. But next time you have the opportunity, step away from it. Do something different. I hope y'all have a great day.
Coach, this was perfect. Thank you so much. And I just want to go back as we end the call and go, it's okay. What it really spoke to me today about is just life is a battleground of changes, twists, things that we've got to overcome. And we're living this life out. And so being able to accept overthinking and ways to work with it is so valuable. So thanks for the lesson this morning. Have a great Monday, guys. We love you. We appreciate you. Last week of 2020, we're going to be coming in strong all week this week. So excited about that and excited that you're here. We love you guys. Grateful for you. Have a great
Love
day.
y'all. Have a great
Many
day.
blessings. Thank you,
Great
guys.
work.